being here and supporting USA Wrestling. And more importantly, what you guys and gals are doing at home and the impact you're having on your athletes is a huge, huge, huge thing. And what happens at the, I want to call it the top, what happens with our national team, with our elite level athletes and all styles, it can't happen without you guys doing your jobs and doing what you're doing and what you're great at. And I thank you personally. As a developmental coach for 4 years, and now up to moved me up last year to senior national team, which I love. I mean, you can't get excited about winning the World Olympic titles, then you better find something else to do. But I still have a very strong interest in what's going on with our grassroots and our elite level developmental kids. I really feel like over the long term of our lives or our impact on what we can do and what the sport we love, is really where the rubber meets the road. We don't have any high level. We don't have Jordan Burroughs. We don't have Kyle Snyder. We don't have the next group without what you guys do on the ground every day. That's really, really, really important. And like I said, I think it's the most important slice of USA Wrestling. So I'm excited to be here. Hopefully I can do you guys justice. So Mike's got me scheduled for mat wrestling, and I only got an hour, so that barely scratches the surface of mat wrestling in my opinion. But I'm also here for you guys, and what you guys want, and what you guys feel like the programs need, and what you're interested in learning about. If I shed some light on any of that, please make sure you holler at me or ask questions or whatever you need. So, mat wrestling, with the rules, the last couple of years, 6-minute matches, cumulative score, it brought back terre. I don't want to go into that too much on why it went away. It was kind of counter to my personal philosophy, but a lot of it was because of 2-minute period, right? 2-minute periods, it's really tough to take down an elite level guy, so all your energy and efforts put into that takedown, that one score in the 2-minute period. And because there's not much time to come back, if you make a mistake, people became very cautious, right? If we're wrestling and there's, maybe it takes 30, 40 seconds for us to create a setup, I really only have 1 or 2 really good opportunities in that period. If I make a mistake, he goes behind me, I'm really behind the 8 ball. So all the effort, energy, I didn't really do this, but I will need somebody here in a second. Was put into takedowns. Now, my personal philosophy was, if we can take somebody down and turn them once, just once in a 2-minute period, it's going to be really hard to come back. If I'm ahead 3-0, it's going to be really hard to come back. But now, 6-minute matches, there's a big part of the game. And we haven't completed statistics yet for this year's World Championships. I've been watching, I would say, just a guesstimate. I would say it's pretty consistent with last year. I would say defense has gotten better in terre. But last year, every world champion had multiple turns in every single match in 2014. And the 5 Russians who won last year, they all had multiple turns in every match. It's pretty significant. I mean, you're basically doubling your points production with one position. I can take, we're wrestling if I'm wrestling my opponent and I score 2 points, and then I can turn him to 2 more, that's 100% points production, right? It's 100% more than I'm scoring just with takedowns. So, terre really important, but also really exciting and fun. There's a lot. I mean, technique, we all say it, it's infinite, the combinations that there can be. But man, in terre is just so much fun. Just so much creativity that can be there. It's really limited only to your own thought process, I guess. So, anyways, get off my soapbox there. Mat wrestling, to me, where the most important thing is about pinning somebody's hips down his back. And I think there's a lot of crossover between disciplines, not just freestyle and Greco, but international wrestling and folk style. And I think this is something that a philosophy that probably needs to be promoted a lot more and discussed. Is our sport sometimes is different areas is fractured. We have folk style only people, freestyle only people, and Greco people, instead of wrestling people, and focus our ideas or our minds on the 85 or 90% of similarity rather than the 10 or 15% of difference. And so here's just to make you. All right. So go focus on just referee's position base. Okay. So traditional folk style start, here, and as I start to ride, I'm jamming the guy forward. I'm getting weight pressure on him. If I'm a spinal ride guy, tag weights and chop. Everything I'm doing is staying behind the arms and controlling this guy's hips. Okay, so in freestyle, terre, it's no different. It's no different. Slightly different circumstance, right? We're just, I want it prone. I want him here. But it's still about controlling his hips, so go flat. So this guy down here, understanding what he's trying to do, and the way I was taught and the way I teach now, is that this is not a defensive static position for this man. This guy is on offense down here. He might not be offense as far as scoring points, but he has to be offensive minded, and he can't sit here thinking he's going to take a nap and wait 30 seconds and then get back to our feet. Because in my opinion, if I'm his coach, I want him attacking and wrestling and moving. And if I'm this guy's coach, he will never get back to his feet. The match will be over. So how can you be both of those? Well, this guy, he's attacking his way back to neutral, meaning he creates activity, motion, movement. He's stifling my offense every time. Instead of waiting for me to start working, he starts moving ahead of me. So as I'm working, I'm always a step behind. And every little scoot, every little movement he creates is a 2 or 3 second restart for me. And it takes about 2 or 3 of those for the referee to see that there's no advancement in position. The whistle blows, and he's back on his feet. That's offensive-minded to me. So hips and shoulders square to the mat, lots of motion, right? So important to understand that, because when I go to attacking, that's the guy I want to beat. The weenie, we're going to beat that guy anyways. So it's the good guy. It's the good opponent that knows what he's doing. That's what I'm training to beat. That's who Burroughs is going to have to beat. Godoyev, or maybe next year, Zadick again, who knows? You know it's going to be somebody that knows how to wrestle. So, going back to the crossover of controlling opponent's hips. Controlling here too. I'm pinning his hips. So, regardless if I'm a gut wrench guy, or an ankle lace guy, or crotch lift guy, or whatever I like to do, to me it starts right here, pinning his hips. And as you can see, I'm straddling one leg. I'm actually kneeling on it. I use my shin a lot. On the back of his knee. And I'm really trapping his hips. I'm either pinching here, like this, which slows him down, right? It's a lot harder for him to move. If I just stay out here, he can certainly stand, I can back my hands, and I'm doing nothing but following. Okay? So I want to slow him down, I want to stop him. So whether I straddle one leg and pinch his hip, or the other leg and pinch his hip, or I start here. And this is a pretty good position. Okay? It's going to slow him down. He can still move a little bit, but it slows him down a lot. And then it allows me to work. So, and actually, well, we did a lot of these drills when I was training. From this guy's perspective, just right here, they move. Move forward, right there. This is hard work. This is really hard work. That's what this guy needs to do. And so, from the defensive or offensive bottom position, that's a really good drill. It teaches a kid how to learn how to move with a lot of weight pressure on you, but keeping your hips and shoulders square. I can't really roly-poly like a fish out of water. You know, like this is what I want to be, low and wide like a sports car. Right in the corner, right? I can drop back if he's going lace. I can jump forward, circle if they're going gut, but it makes it a lot harder when a guy's on top of us. If we learn how to move that way. Plus, you're not going to move a whole bunch. So you're going to understand the idea of short, consistent movements, 2, 3 inch little scoots. So good for him. So for me, I'm just going to start with gut because it seems to be the most common. Get through that really, at a very superficial level, but basics. Traditional gut, just right here. Again, I like to trap, and I always start under. They're being a little more internationally. They're being a little more specific about fighting hands and fingers, so that they're on us a little harder than they used to be. In Greco, I don't know if everybody knows the rules in Greco. In part terre, you can't even grab the guy's arm below the elbow. So bottom guy, just like so if I'm defending, I can't grab here. I'm gonna get my hand slapped the first time, second time, they're probably gonna go caution 1 on me in Greco. I didn't see it called a ton in Las Vegas at the Worlds, but I was also involved with preparing our freestyle guys, so I didn't pay that close attention. But it's right here, so it's elbows, which is okay. It makes it harder. It's probably better for the sport because you're probably going to see more part-terre scoring, which is going to help Greco. Freestyle you can, but they're still not letting us clam up. So when I'm on top, he's really, locking down here. They're going to say, open and slap the mat. And there's, varying degrees. There's many different degrees of this as there are officials, in my opinion. Would you say? Our basic deep arm. So is what I'm looking for as the top end of the gut range. So if I want to gut right, I gotta have 2 things. I have to have deep arm left, and I have to have his hips off the mat. Okay, so I'm just working here. I'm pinning his hips down. I'm gonna go deep arm left, and then I'm gonna start working here. Basic elements of gut wrench and lace to me, honestly, are the same things. Plant my shoulder, drive with my legs, squeeze with my elbows, and I'll get through those on both positions. But so I get my tight waist, or I get my deep arm locked here. I plant my shoulder, okay? On a traditional, conventional gut, I want my shoulder on his spine, and so when my leg drive happens, I'm transferring a lot of power, as much strength and power as I have, not just my body weight on him, but all the power of my legs into his torso. Critical, something that is often overlooked, is the elevation. Everybody usually understands I can keep my shoulder on top, but having my shoulder behind my lock is going to multiply the pressure that I can transfer into this guy by many, many times. So what I mean is this. If my lock's right here, and I get my shoulder on top, right now my shoulder's in front of my lock. And this is the thing that's deceptive. It's going to feel tight. It's going to feel tight to me, and it's going to feel tight to him. I get pressure, drive, and I'm putting a lot of weight pressure, it feels tight, right? But when I drop my shoulder behind my lock and drive, it's way different, and I'm getting virtually no more effort. It's just simple physics. I'm really crimping his guts, his inside, his ribs, between this lock and my shoulder. And it's very little arm power. It's all leg power. Right? Using our big, powerful muscles instead of our little muscles. All I'm really trying to do is lock this. All I'm trying to do is not let his torso slide. His hips slide. Okay? That's why I'm going back to our trapping his hips here. Okay, if he's really good, what he's got to do is slide off this arm. This elbow, this deep elbow, that's the wrench, right? Like a box wrench. If this thing slides, I lose my torque. Okay, so he's gonna slide into me this way. Right? So my outside arm is really important for creating that lock, whether it's on his rib or low gut, on his hip bone. But my inside arm is equally important. That's why I squeeze here. Everybody knows this kind of squeeze. This is the squeeze that makes a gut wrench work. A lot of times I can even be loose and sloppy here. And when we get a little better, we have a really good solid feel sometimes. That was honestly one of my favorite setups, is just kind of playing possum. Trap his hip here, I kind of got to loosen, do some grip. He doesn't really know, and I kind of fake one way, and I get him to slide here, and he slid right into my deep arm, and then I explode the other way. So, anyways, deep arm left, still trapping his hip, shoulder behind my lock, inside elbow, it's just trapping it here. Just clamping it. Doesn't even have to be that hard, just enough to not let him slide. Now I'll drive and drive forward. This is a critical element to emphasize with all of our kids. Okay, I'm trying to gut wrench them right? Wrong. Go this way. This is what's going to turn it. If I go this way, look at this guy, he's really getting strong. He's going to be able to put up with a lot of, he's just going to horse it out. He can put up with a lot of torque. I want to move him forward, and as I do this crimping action, right, shoulder, lock, it's going to do this to his hips. His hips are going to come up like that. If I can get his hips up that much, I should be able to turn him. When his hips coming up in the air, they come up just a little bit. This thing's going on right there. Now, as I loaded it into my hips, I kind of go to the right, but still, I want to follow the chain of his body. Up the chain is kind of how I was always taught, and I like that terminology. I still want to go forward. This is why. When I start to roll, the good guys, he's going to hook. He's still not giving up. He's going to hook legs, he's going to float hips, and the more I go to the side, the more I open that door. So, I'm going to drive forward, hips are up, and I still want to go forward this way. And run my feet all the way through. Running my feet when I'm upside down. Running our feet all the way, driving all the way through position, it cleans those things up. It makes our turn more powerful, more effective, and it neutralizes his defense and takes away his scrambling ability. The more I go to one side or the other, the more I open the door for whatever he may have. And so, probably the three biggest things you see after the turn are, or once I have the turn, is a guy hooking a knee with his either hand or foot. So I go to the side and he reaches with left foot. Yeah, with my knee up. Outside. Right there. Okay, and then he's trying to float his hips. Float his hips over top. See this? Oh, right there we go, all the way through, no score. And then the last one, a lot of times you see guys, they know you got them, and they fight it as hard as they can, as long as they can, but after the turn, hook elbows, and then do like short sets. So I come through here, and he hooks this elbow. Either one, yeah, that's fine. Right there, and sit out. And he turns back in. Now it's a scramble situation. It's a dogfight. I made it harder on myself than it needed to be. And that's because I don't have enough pressure going up the bottom. So, ideally, trap his hip, keep on here, get him set. Shoulder. Shoulder placement is paramount. I can do everything right, and I can drive, and I can let my shoulder slip, and it still feels tight. And I still think I got it. And maybe I do, but only on somebody that, if you get him there, he's flawed.
You say when your shoulder's behind your lock, you're saying you want to go forward?
Yes. Yeah, so just come on your knees. So if my lock's here, I want my shoulder lower. Does that make sense? Yeah. So then when I drive, it's crunchy. It's crunchy. You might get him otherwise. And that's part of our problems. That's part of our mistakes. Is I try to think when I was competing, when I was training, when I'm coaching, I tell my guys, you have to have kind of a certain level of proficiency before this really is accurate. But once you have a good athlete who's pretty much got all the fundamental positions mastered, he's no longer, or she is no longer wrestling their opponent, they're wrestling themselves. And what that means is, I don't know how good or bad this guy is, and he might have flaws in his game, chinks in his armor, which allow me to get away with less than perfection. Okay? So I might win practice and be losing the world championships, meaning I'm not being held accountable by my partners. So I'm not wrestling him, I'm wrestling me. I'm wrestling the best that I can be today, or the best that I was previous to stepping on the mat this morning. I want to be better than that. Whatever that was yesterday, I want to be better than that this week. Okay? And that's how I continue to keep myself sharp and make sure that our athletes are getting incrementally better every day. Okay? Burrows, don't just win the practice. Especially when you're in a room where you have a standout athlete who's used to training with, he's got consistent training partners. It's a rare occurrence where you have two guys that just go like this all the time and keep giving that to each other. Pretty soon it goes like this. And it might be very close, and it might be a good situation for the most part. But there's a pecking order that gets established. And if somebody's used to something happening, that tends to happen. When I was in a college room and I was training freestyle, I had some good parterre background when I was younger. So I would get on top of the college guys and I'd squeeze them, and they'd fight really hard the first few times, and then they would get used to me turning them. And then the next time I'd get on and squeeze, I'd get a little squeeze and they'd just flop over. And so I look like a monster in practice, right? I'm just turning everybody. And then I get to international levels, the guys are fighting me hard, and they're not getting as many turns. And that's because I was allowing myself to be sloppy. So this type of stuff, this forward drive, the squeezing with my elbows, the planting of my shoulder and not letting that shoulder slip, those critical elements, I have got to do those whether I turn the guy or don't turn the guy. Whether he rolls over like a limp noodle or he fights me with everything he has. And so that's what I'm talking about. Wrestling, line perfection.
Like you were talking about, like when I train freestyle,
Yeah.
big thing with terre, and I struggle with trying to keep them, everybody healthy, putting them in these positions. So there are drills that you're doing to not get sloppy, but also make sure that we're not banging each other up.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time for him to toughen his ribs up too, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm really soft. That's the first thing. When I got done competing, it's the first thing I lost. It's this terre. You're not used to people getting squeezing on it. So just simple drills like, honestly, best bang for your buck, gut wrench drill, is 3 in a row, my opinion. 1 alternating side. So I start right, I go left, and then I come back right. And the reason I say alternating is because it forces me to adjust. I make adjustments where I get loose and sloppy. And if I'm not doing things 100% accurately and correctly, I'm gonna find that out, right? Especially if you're there watching as my coach, right? You say, hey, Zadick, run your feet all the way through. You see this is a combo, right? I get the guy turned and I do this. Roll up on my knees. Oh, nice gut wrench. Wrong. Terrible. Okay? What you're doing is you're training a weakness into yourself because you think you're doing it pretty good, and then somebody who's really good is going to put you in trouble. So, simple drill is just like this. Get my lock here, I get set. I'm going to go this way, run my feet all the way through, on top. The reason I run my feet through is twofold. One is it takes away his defense, but also it sets me for the follow-up turn, which is the best time to turn somebody is right after you've already turned them. He's thinking, oh crap, and you're thinking 2 more points. So I recover, shoulder placement back the other way. It forces me to change. And if I'm sloppy and I just fall off this side, same thing happens. So, with good observation, I'm forced to adjust my head. I keep pressure on him, I don't lift up. I just slide. I'm here, and I go back forward. And it will expose a lot of our weakness. So if we can impress those keys on our athletes so they know, then we're coaching independence, right? You don't have to have eyes on all 30 people in the room. When you're on the other side, Johnny and George know what they're doing. Okay, that felt sloppy. And so he's getting better too, because he's got to give me proper resistance. If he's a wet noodle, it doesn't work for either one of us. So he's developing a feel of keeping a wide base, giving some pressure, and maybe the drill is for me. But I need him to give me a realistic feel, is what I say a lot. There's not a whole lot of resistance, maybe 20%. So I'm developing, I understand the feel I'm going to get from a quality opponent, yet I'm being successful, and I'm learning how to execute and move properly. And then as I perfect that, we can increase resistance, and defense, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just had a question about your lock as you're transitioning from one to the other. I mean, you were doing like this butterfly lock.
Yeah.
When you go to the other side, were you locking on your wrist?
Yeah, I don't switch my lock.
Okay.
Conventional wisdom is that deep arm is on top. So if I'm going right, my left arm comes through and it locks here. And so if I'm going left, right arm's deep, and that's on top. However, I don't personally do that, and I'm not going to advocate one or the other. I think that if you're able to keep your shoulder tight and your elbows locked, you're in the tournament. Okay? If you're not, If you're not switching your lock and you're not turning them, then maybe you should switch your lock. I don't know. That wasn't something I thought of. It just happened, and as I got better, and I just realized I wasn't switching my lock. I was, you know, that works. That's old Gable philosophy. You can do it your way as long as it's successful. And once it's not successful, then you do it his way. Seems to work for the most part. Okay, so that's where we are, 737. Not even gonna get through gut wrenches. So basic gut, trapping his hips. Trapping his hips. And getting into our gut wrench, probably all of us know gut wrenches well enough. Getting your deep arm or getting your lock, your sweet spot, and this is regardless of what your preference is. I'm a mid-range gut guy. I like my lock on bones. I'm right on the short ribs, right underneath the sternum. I actually lock a little bit higher than that because I'm anticipating this guy's, I'll go high gut and it doesn't feel too threatening, but he starts crawling forward. Even before, right there, he's gonna crawl right into my sweet spot and I'm gonna steal his momentum. I explode right into it. That time I had my head on the same side, right? That's maybe the next level gut wrench, but still the key elements, my shoulders planted, my elbows were tight, I drove forward. So regardless if I'm way low gut, or mid gut, or high gut's a little bit different, and there's probably better high gut teachers out there than myself. When I was training, Kendall was here for a little bit, I tried to learn it. I like technique, so even if I don't do stuff, I like to learn it and know it or understand it. And I would say it's a little bit different directional pressures in the high gut where your tripod are way up, my hips are way high off the ground, and maybe my head or my shoulders planted. And I'm doing stuff like this to get the guy. But the basic fundamental is on your setup is still there, which a lot of times I'm creating movement to draw a reaction from him. When he reacts wrong, I'm going to capitalize, I'm going to take advantage of it. So whether I'm here or even way down here, my opinion, actually not my opinion, statistical fact, gut wrench in a soft spot is the lowest percentage turn. They're just not bones there to create pain. He can put up with a lot right here because there's a lot of soft, there's a lot of give, there's a lot of play. So the more that I can lock bone on bone, it's just basic wrench, box wrench philosophy, right? If I'm on a soft spot, I'm going to strip the bolt. I'm going to go and it's not turning. But if I get down here on the bones, so low gut, I want to get way down on his pelvis, on the top end of his hips, and I'm going to keep his hips pinned forward with my chest, right here. And now this elbow, my right arm's deep, that elbow's locking right here on this. This is another one that takes some conditioning. Because when you start this one, and when the top guy starts really getting the idea of this one, you're gonna tear a lot of skin right here. It's tender. It hurts. Yep, it hurts. Good for the top guy. Same with just a conventional lock. So along with my setup, my personal favorites, the one I already explained is where I'm just kind of sitting here, I'm kind of tossing a little bit. And I like to have fake here and get him to react. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He just rolled right into his shoulder, and this hips up. I'm doing this too. Basically, I'm trying to get his hips over. But squeeze, 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 squeeze. No oxygen to the ribs, no blood in there. Relax. And then boom! slow it again. It's honestly, it's the best. It's the best setup. This guy forces it out and they're really strong. Like this. And then you get a little reprieve. Boom! And as soon as you do, there's a huge flood of pain that goes in there. And then you, boom! You rock it. I mean, it's a half a second. It's not very long. It's just a little choking out. Lock it back down. So conventional, you know, this is it. This is it. You see a lot of Greco stuff. The more you play with Greco, really good stuff here. Knees in his hip, it's in his armpit, and our front headlock. Right here, I'm doing this. Grab my leg. He can have that leg. I'll feed it to him. Get his hips up off the mat. Another really good one. Having a hard time. Guy's really crawling forward. I'm pinning him down. But he's just heavy and strong and he's good at fighting hands. Can't get my gun. Uh-oh. He goes flat. Hips. It's really effective. I'm outside the legs. Outside. You can do it from inside too. Legs. Leg scoop. Comes up. This is yeah, this is really good. This is tricky. When I jump to gut, the key here, again, is going forward, back to our original philosophy. I have to get my hips to his hips. I'm too far away. When I jump gut, if he's worth his salt, he's any good, again, the plugs, I'm going to turn them guys anyways. I don't know what they're doing. I'll get it eventually. But a really good guy, when I start releasing, he feels it, he's going forward. So when I get him up, here, I come up, I step at the hip. Deep arm, draw forward. Now, deep arm, my hips are tight to his as he's going forward. Knees under his hip, I keep going forward. I think I feel his momentum.
How many, what percentage of the turns comes off of like transition from takedown as opposed to like these setups?
Great question. I don't know percentage-wise, statistical numbers, but I will tell you this, that when you watch the best guys in the world, they score in clusters, explosive clusters, right? Zadick was really good at this. 0-0. 5 minutes into the match. 6-minute match, 0-0. Tech fall, 5:45. Like, geez, how does the guy do that? Because he doesn't do this. He does not let people off the hook. That to me is a philosophy. Do not let them off the hook. Do not let them off the hook. Do not let them off the hook. In any position, anywhere. That's why to me it's a philosophy. So this is it. I crouch, I drive, start working. No, doggone. I just came out, I let him off the hook. I let him come up. I'm driving down right here. Look where I'm at. Transition. Whatever I do, we're doing gut wrenches right now. So, transition deep waist. I already got momentum going. He bellies out. I stay foot on the gas. Plant my shoulders, squeeze my elbows, drag my feet. You know, it's simple concept. It is difficult to do, but we have to be aware of the concept. We teach our young guys, hey, look what's happening. You were in this perfect position. You had it, and you pulled your arm. Oh, I'm a lace guy. So, I'm a lace guy. Bro, you're a gut wrench guy. You know why? Because he was vulnerable for the gut wrench. It was staring me in the face. Learn the gut wrench. Okay? And then lacing too. So, but the lace is there too. The lace is there. Right here. So instead of going, as we're coming down, transitions, this is really fun. Sometimes I teach a session on transitions, and it's really fun. So here, instead of going from here to here as we go down, I go from here to here. Right through his hips. To me, wrestling is 90% of what we're doing is all about our opponent's hips. So, knees pinned, he jumps down flat. Now I have a whole myriad of, Kevin Jackson, when he was our national coach, he used to say, get athletic. I have his knees pinned right here. I just simple, easy. His knees are trapped, keep him trapped. Up cross. I think you're across, it doesn't matter. Elevate him, walk him up into it. Right here, he bellies down. Scoop. All I really need to do is, I got his knees together, he's in big trouble. I can gut wrench his knees. That's really what you're doing. But on a conventional lace, I have to get my wrist in there. That's all I need. I don't need to thread and scoop it all the way. To turn him, if my hand goes into my wrist bends. I need to get about just enough so it won't bend. I get that through there. Then it's like a crowbar. I scoop with my back knee and I drive forward. Same thing here. If I go to the side, it's going to get loose and sloppy, and if this guy's any good, he's going to circle to his left. Most guys, they're going to hit down, beginner level knowledge, human instinct, right? Fight pressure, right? So he goes hit down, thank you. I'm going to break your knees and or ankles off, because I'm not going to let you out of this. I'm going to win this. I'm going to tech you. I could be down 9-0 and I'm going to win this match. So, but the good guy, he understands. He's going to circle left, and it's going to get looser and looser if I roll sideways. He just laid down. So, really critical, just like your gut wrench, I go up the chain. So, I finish my high C, I punch this deep, and I scoop, and I scoop, and I go right towards coach. What's your name? Nick. I go right at Nick. Forward up his spine. And this arm gets deeper as I go. I can get it all the way through, but I don't need it to get the turn. And I want to get my points. So, knees together, right here. In this case, I would probably do something way different like this. Okay. I just scooped it up, kind of like half Nelson, but I took it right to his butt. That was the big trouble. Scoop with my back knee. I can turn him here. If he pushes his butt back into me and his knees go wide, I'm going to lock right there, and I'm still going this way. So when I turn right, gut wrench lace, crotch lift, bow and arrow, whatever you're doing, which is really where I want to get to, I'm going to go 1 or 2 o'clock. If I'm going left, it's 10 or 11 o'clock. So I'm always going up, over the shoulder, until you feel the tipping and breaking point. And then I still go forward. Sometimes we try to rush things, and the quickest way to the exposure is go this way, right? Not really. Not on a good guy. This guy knows what he's doing. And so even when you have guys in your room that aren't giving, to learn something, to perfect the movement, I want this guy to be not limp, but I don't want much resistance. I want to create the ideal of perfection in my athlete, so he knows he's creating good muscle memory there, so he knows where to get back to. Then, as he perfects the movement, we can increase resistance on that kind of stuff. So, yeah, transition, man, awesome, fun position, exciting when you see your athletes start to develop an awareness of transition. The guy's in trouble, you're taking him down, his hips are in the air, keep him in trouble. Keep him in trouble. Don't not let him off the hook. Biggest place that we let people off the hook in wrestling is on their knees in front of us. He shoots and I stop him right here. This is best guys in the world again, back to Zadick or whoever. They score on this guy 93-4% of the time. He took a shot and I stopped him right behind him. Or front headlock. This is a secondary to this position. Is we front headlock and oh I got it, I stopped it. I won. No, you didn't. 0-0 still. Okay, and then he fights, he starts coming up. Just let him off the hook, man. Punish the dude. Gable philosophy. When I shoot, I score. When he shoots, I score. Punish him. Make him afraid. How dare you even shoot on me? And just that philosophy, to me, that was honestly something ingrained in me when I was very young. I had really good coaches around me, good people. They maybe weren't the greatest coaches, but they were good thinkers. My dad, guy named Floyd Vaughn was actually from Michigan, he lived in Montana, he was in Hawaii. Mark Sprague was in Portland, Oregon. Never wrestled a match in his life, maybe one of the best technicians, developmental technicians that I know of. Really good, really good. But that philosophy, you're wrestling, wrestle. Don't get so bent and focused on the winning that you forget the wrestling. If we hunger for the wrestling and hunger to win the wrestling, out wrestle the guy. Don't just win. Don't just get my hand raised. Wrestle the guy. I'm going to learn a massive amount of information. And the more I collect information, the more our bodies, we were Brahman and another coach, Travell and I. Travell Delogne's in town, and he and I had about a 4.5-hour conversation last night, starting at about 4 p.m. Went to the doctor, came out of the doctor's office, had dinner, walking up the stairs, ran into Brahman, talking about this and how to implement this philosophy. Don't get so hung up on the winning and losing, but the wrestling. So, human nature is to win. Human nature is to elevate ourselves. Human nature is to outrun the guy next to us who's trying to run down that deer, or trying to run down that mate to breed with. Right? It's instinct. We don't have to worry about that. But if we only are focused on outcome, we lose the process. And the process, what we were talking about last night, the process should be deemed a success, not the gold medal. So the more times I shoot this high crotch and I'm unsuccessful because he chest lost me because my hips were out, and he sprawls, okay, sprawled on me, I didn't score. I'm going to feel something, and I'm going to make an adjustment, and my body knows where to go. Okay, I know what drilling a perfect high crotch feels like. So why didn't I get there? Okay, it forces me to reflect and evaluate and make myself better. That's process oriented. If it's all about just scoring points, well, I take that back. I think the points is okay. Getting the hand raised, that's more. Not that goals are bad. I think it takes a good portion of both. But I think I am a more process-oriented person than just specific goals. Anyways, we're gonna go overtime, guys. Who's next after me?
Matt.
Matt? Okay. Yeah. I talk. Okay, so same idea here. If you guys have questions, please fire them away. But I want to get through two things real quick. So same idea for lace. Okay, plant my shoulders, squeeze my elbows, drive my legs. So whether I'm transitioning from here, okay, you saw what I did with my legs there, was kind of sneaky about it. I didn't tell you, he wasn't threatened by it, because I'm up here looking for a gut, and he's worried about that gut wrench, and I pinned his both knees down. Okay, now I'm going to slide down his body, and I'm going to beat his hips with my shoulder. Okay, at the same time, my arms are sliding down his body, they're staying close. Okay? So I'm scooping out with my knees and back here. Okay, so when I do this properly, I honestly, when you get to like a really good level of it, you'll let the guy's hips come up because it helps you. It actually makes it easier. Okay? But if I don't, that's good too. I plant hips and I scoop right there. When I scoop, I'm above the knees. See that? Both hands are above the knees. I have to learn in this position as much as anyone, I have to learn how to use my elbows like hands. So I'm using all of this surface area, not just this, with my elbows out. I scoop here. So the elbows close tight to my body, right there. Now it's over. It literally, if I get somebody to this point, it should be match over. The key thing here is, again, is pinning the guy's hips. So I forward pressure. It's for my legs. It's not just leaning on the guy with my butt way up high. It's right here. Now I just, see this? I kneel over and thread. Scoop. Game over. I'm going to go forward. This top arm is going to wrap his knees. I'm going to punch to the ceiling and wrap. You see this? I don't have it scooped all the way, but I will. Wrap. Keep doing it. So this is where it's really sweet. Is when I go here, and he starts sensing it, he comes up, boom, right there. Uh-oh, he's in big trouble. Says, I try to work, boom. There you go. The only thing that, not the only thing, but one critical thing to be aware of as far as sloppiness, in trying to turn him too soon, go this way too soon, is if I get pressure off his hips, and I don't keep his hips pinned, he rotates like this, and he's going to limp leg on me. Okay? And this is good defense on his part. Because he's in big trouble. If I go to the side and he rolls his hips, he's going to pull his bottom leg, hold to your chest right there. So he's going to do, you kind of call it leg whip, or limp leg. He's going to kick back with the top leg, like that, and pull the bottom leg to his chest, and kick it back out, and I lost the position. That's because I didn't keep his hips pinned. I'm going too much to the side, not hips square, pinned to the mat, and going right there. Right over his right shoulder. Here. You can't do it. When I start falling off, now we can do it. I just lost it. Come back up. Maybe on this. Re-cinch it. Maybe not. But it's important to be aware of that because it's when guys start to get really good at laces, that's probably one of the most consistent flaws that I see. We rush the position and I lose something very good that I had because I'm in a rush. Same thing going the other way. Scoop his back knee, outside knee under the laces. Here it can get loose and sloppy. He can circle to the right and try to limp leg on me. Right there. Here it's going to be much harder. You get started, ready? I'm going to be turning before that. If I don't have that back knee and I start to turn, it's going to unravel on me. Not a really, really good guy. Again, the weenies, our sport's very deceptive. It's very deceptive. That's why we have got, I'm real nitpicky about technique when I teach, when I coach. And there's a lot more to all these positions, a lot more refinements, but the fundamentals are all there. Anything else, base-wise? There's a lot. I mean, you can spend a whole week on ankle braces. There's so many variations, and they're all really fun, painful, and ferocious, and I like it. One other idea I want to throw at you guys, though, that I think is really important and really valuable, that I don't think as Americans we wrestle very much. The position lends itself more to Turks, arm Turks, leg Turks. You can study Valentin Dragunov if you haven't studied him. I would encourage you to. In the modern wrestling era, he's probably the most notable expert in this position. I know he had a huge influence on Dave Schultz, and of course Dave's had a huge influence on the rest of us. But this position right here is still about thin in the guy's hips, and it's really good for folk style. Interestingly enough, I was not a leg rider in college at all. I was a tight waist chop guy, pretty basic, pretty straightforward. I was a freestyle Greco kid all my life, so I didn't wrestle folk style until I was about 8th grade. And my best turn in folk style was an ankle brace right here. Pick them up, turn them, boom, right there. Settle in. And that's how bad it was. So, but after I started learning some stuff, after I was out of college, this position I actually got kind of good, or at least proficient. But it's just right here. I'm still pinning the guy's hips. I'm trapping here, and I'm blocking his hip with my knee, and I'm keeping a lot of weight, my upper body. This is critical element here. I'm keeping a lot of weight pressure forward on him, and this elbow's in his armpit, and sometimes I'll post right here, so he can't turn back into me. Because if he can turn and get into a ball, then I have to change. You know, I mean, there's things I can do, right? But it makes it much harder. I want to keep it flat and extended. So I can do this from, I gut wrench, I drop back a lace, and the guy goes, maybe he goes butt back, knees wide. Can you sit on your haunches, way back? Yeah, like this. This works for this. This is a really good breakdown, folk style or freestyle. I'm just going to take his ankle and elbow right here, stretch him out. I'll run him down like this, and I end up right here. I'm going to hang on to it, elbows in the ribs, weight press forward, knee in his hip. And I'm just going to scoop that right here. Now I can wrestle. Now what happens a lot for me is this guy gets really squirmy. And he starts moving and making lots of mistakes. And maybe I just keep it. And I just take this ankle and I run it right over his head. Or maybe, whether I keep him like this is good. I like to catch his heel and his toe right in my elbow. Because it looks really safe. It looks really domestic, but it's really mean. You can't grab his toe, right? It's illegal. But I have his toe. He will test with that. His ankle is in serious trouble. And when I spread this out, I put a lot of pressure. Now I can elevate, and I can take it right over, switch into the crutch so take it right over. And then, as I get better, there's a lot of like crazy fun stuff. Scoop. That's Valentin Dragunov. Right there. Yeah, I said under the near leg, over the far leg. With my inside leg. So Right here. A lot of times, guys, you go gut wrench, right? He goes knee to his elbow right here. Big job. Get it up there. Really strong, can't they? Just like this. I want both knees under. Only thing I gotta watch out for is doing this, right? So he hips in over me. That's why I gotta keep that pressure forward here. Arm tuck. Shoulder and belly. Elevate. It's a really fun position to play with. And then, you're right. No, you're good. Then if I'm a leg guy, which I'm not, but I got to be adequate maybe. Here. I just slide up. Knee high, my heel right in his crotch. As high on the leg as possible. Right here. When you do all this sort of painful fun stuff. But really, I think back through, and anybody add to this, as you recall, the evolution of park terre through the 90s when it was a big part of the game. It was a big part of it. Guys adapt pretty quickly. They adapt pretty quickly. So the world champions this year, like I said, they haven't got the statistics back yet. There were still a lot of turns, but there were fewer. Why is that? Are they getting worse? No. Guys are getting better in defense. So the conventional stuff, it becomes harder to do because this guy's better. So then you go to next level, go flat. You go to next level stuff, which is what we're talking about today. In and hinge, isolating one leg to get to my gut, isolating the leg. He doesn't even think that when I'm down here. But that's where I'm going the whole time. Unless he just hands me a stupid lace, he makes a mistake and I catch him. But this kind of stuff, leg in, okay, he's posting way out. Trap arm. Steiners, in college we were teammates. They were older than me. They used to really frustrate me by getting legs here, bar arms, deep waist. Those style turns, but they work just as well with this style. Look at that leg in, trap arm, leg in, conventional gut. I go leg in, and I'm fighting. He's really posting up, and I'm really making this look real. And he's posting up. I'm really selling this, and then I come to the middle. I mean, there's a lot of position, a lot. It's far more than I know, and I know a few things. But it's just, it's really fun wrestling. It's really exciting wrestling. Because I know.
We kind of have a philosophy of pain as a motivator.
Yeah.
So we don't teach our kids we don't want to teach them, but, pain is a motivator.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was much more into pain and hurting people.
Into pain and hurting people.
Yeah, if there was a movement I could make you cry or hurt you, not injure you, not break something, but I don't know. If I broke your arm because you're defending my gut, that was your fault. You shouldn't move your arm. I'm not so much into that. Hopefully not because I'm any less tough, but I certainly don't mind pain. Gut wrench is pain. It's educated pain. It's smart. I have to do things properly. And maybe the reason I got away from that is pain alone will not work on really good guys, in my opinion. You know, we got to become better wrestlers. We've got to become better. And it's about efficiency, and it's about pressure and position and angles. And that is refinement. And, you know, right now, we got some really tough guys on the world team. Really tough guys. They work really hard. They're not good enough wrestlers. I love Brent Metcalf. I love him. He's an awesome human being. He's a great family man. He's got 2 kids. Wife seems like an awesome family. Kid's not good enough. If I'm ahead 4-0, you can punch me in the face all day long, and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to take my black eyes and my gold medal, and I'm going to laugh all the way out of the building. You got to out-wrestle the guy. Now, if you can do that, create a little pain, it's a really strong selling point. It's kind of my philosophy. This position it's really uncomfortable for guys. Because you got to pin down. He really doesn't know whether, you know, the crap will go blind. You don't know which way to move. And that's where we want him. That's where I want him. I want an option to score everywhere he goes. So if he's really strong and tough and I can't, I'm just going to keep ratcheting up the pressure until he cracks somewhere. And maybe that's just walking right up over his head. But, what's that?
I heard the Iranians look at Blake before you do it before they turn damage. That's how I
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that floating rib is really hard to break, right? It's not attached to anything, and it's flexible. It moves a lot.
That's how
I think it's probably, sure. Here's what I would say, is when you know Iranian culture, and you know how important the sport of wrestling is in Iran, it's their national sport, wrestling and soccer. It would be like akin to the NFL in America, right? If you think that there is one offensive lineman, defensive tackle, running back, quarterback that wouldn't break somebody's rib to make it to the NFL, right? So would they break your ribs? Yeah, they'll break them. But shame on you for letting them. Shame on me for giving that guy a doggone lot when you know he's good. You know, I know when I wrestle Iranians, when we wrestle Iranians, they have watched us. They have studied you. They have mimicked your wrestling in practice hundreds of times, if not thousands. You got to be ready to wrestle them, dudes. And because of the importance it is culturally, that guy wins a gold medal, he's set for life. That's a pretty strong motivator. But now we're getting into a different subject. I think it's good to understand that thing. Those factors, Russia, Iran, these other countries. I know we can overcome it, but we have to understand the game plan. We have to understand the fight that this athlete has in September versus the fight he has in January. It's important. He's a competitor. Not the same in September. So, anyways, hopefully that was good information for you guys. Honestly, I was just scratching the surface. There's so much wrestling there, and it's really fun and intriguing stuff. And that's as hard as this sport can be, we have to continually remind ourselves, this is what we love. This is what I love. This is fun. This is fun. I'm going to sit around and watch Matt because I know he's going to show something I've never seen before. I know I'm going to learn something. And every time I walk into a gym, a room, I know that I'm sure every one of you guys, I don't have enough time to do this, I'm sure every one of you guys, there's at least one thing that you know and do that's better than me, and I want to know that. I want to add that to me. I want to pass that on to some other guys that have a chance. You know, Kyle Snyder he's a great, awesome young kid, but I hope, I pray that he's not an anomaly, and I don't believe he is. I believe that he's a hungry young man that is really mature. I mean, I've been saying this for about 3.5 years now, as he's a 27, 28-year-old pro, trapped in a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, now 19-year-old body. But there's others like him. There's Bo Nickel. There's the Valencias. There's Mark Hall. There's Spencer Lee, there's Dayton Fix, there's Cato Levis. There's a myriad of really good kids out there, and I want to infect them with the love and passion that I was given from a lot of guys. Mark Sprague, I mentioned Mark. That's Matt's club. He was his club coach, so Matt benefited from him. You know, the guy's legacy is phenomenal. If you're ever around him, he's
Coach
awesome.
Spring had a huge impact on my son.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
yeah. He's had a huge impact pretty much on everybody he's ever touched.
At the end of Mike's session, I'm going to read a poem that Coach wrote.
Yeah, it's
So-
awesome. Awesome. Anyways, if I can do anything for you guys in your programs when you leave, I'd love to give you my email, or you can find it on that. It's just first initial, last name, Zadick, 1D, Zadick, at usawrestling.org. Like I said, I'm in the senior level position right now, but I have a real passion for the developmental kids. And if there's anything that we can do to help get your kids resources, get them out to training camps, get national team athletes out to your clubs, have one of us come out there, give you some outlines of practice plans, or nutritional info. We can connect you with our USOC support staff, strength conditioning, diet, nutrition, sports psych. Love to help you out.